health coach truly understand your struggles if they have never faced any health challenges of their own. Join me on a journey through setbacks and lessons and triumphs as I share the raw truth behind being a health coach who's battled through some personal setbacks and now help others navigate their own wellness journey. I really felt like I needed to make this confession to you while I was in the closet. I was standing there looking at my husband's side of the closet and was tackling the chaos of the unfolded things and the things that are wonky on the hangers. And I realized that even in the chaos, there was something refreshing, that all he had was clothes. And he got to wear all of them. They all fit. There's no someday I'll fit into this or remember when. There's none of those kind of items cluttering up the space. It's just clothes that he wears. And then there's my side. Yeah, there is still a few pieces that I'm clinging to with the hope of a past fit. You see, in 2019, I was rocking it. I had figured things out. I had weight loss. I had lost weight that I had been yo-yoing with my whole adult life. I had revamped eating habits and had a way of eating that supported me. I felt like I had energy and like I wasn't deprived of anything. I was feeling fantastic, and I even had figured out that I didn't need to exercise as hard as I had for years and was able to get some time back. I had it figured out. But then in 2021, I had an injury and I got a little off course. I had a front row seat to what happens when you're not getting proper sleep. For me, that shows up as cravings and mood swings, and my brain goes a little haywire. And despite my best efforts, I found that my weight was going up a little bit. But here's the thing, I wasn't really bothered. I felt like I had really good habits, routines, energy levels, and my clothes still fit. So I kind of felt like maybe I had found even a sweeter spot of health for me, the spot that made all the parts of me happy. Like I had been chasing this number for so long, and that really wasn't my ideal number. So while I recovered, life is still always changing. There is an ebb and flow. And just when I thought I was living the most amazing, blessed life, not one, but two injuries popped up. Cue some high frustrations. I was doing all the things and I didn't know why. Why was this happening to me? Stick with me because I have learned some really good lessons through all of this. I spent a solid 9 months trying to figure out how can I nurse back this bum shoulder and what I thought was a hip problem on my own. Yeah, I WebMD'd the crap out of myself. And I went deep into the woods of what are the alternative ways that I can help my body heal itself. At one point, I had a sinus infection and ended up at the urgent care center. And I decided I'm going to bring up this hip issue to the on-call doctor. Now, her comment was that she didn't know what it was, but maybe it was an autoimmune issue, and she would be open to prescribing me something for inflammation and to help with the pain. Now, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt that she doesn't know me. She doesn't know my viewpoints, but I knew for sure that I didn't want a random label, and I didn't want a Band-Aid medication that would never fix the real root issue. So I was polite, but I left that office mad as a hornet and determined that I was just going to research harder and figure this out. And then in December 23, I had to face it that I had to realize I just might be losing myself with all of this pain. My weight had gone up again, past the sweet spot of health, and the real kicker was I had zero desire to even put up the Christmas tree. One thing I had been doing and had some relief with was eating in a way to eliminate inflammation. And what that really showed me was, even though it wasn't a dramatic change from what I normally do, I did see some relief. So let me know that, okay, there's something going on inside my body and it is fighting really hard to heal this and creating this excess inflammation. And it was probably time for me to raise my hand and ask for help. You see, I realized that I can't make my best choices or move like I need to or wanted to when I'm walking around at this sad face level of pain. So for me, I started by talking to a sports physical therapist, and he gave me some ideas on some things I could do that might alleviate some of the pain if it was a pinched nerve or something that was twisted or kinked. I tried them and I really didn't have much relief. So next, I visited my primary care physician. I wanted to get a full blood workup. I wanted hormone testing done. That's a story for another time. But all of that came back in a normal range and was actually pretty close to my past testing numbers. So my third stop was at a regenerative cell clinic. Surgery was not a path that I wanted to explore. I did that with my other shoulder in 2021, and the recovery was less than optimal. Stem cells have really fascinated me for years, and the idea of letting my body heal my body, well, that's right up my alley. So what they found was 3 torn ligaments in my shoulder, which was not a big surprise to me. What was a surprise is how similar they were to the other shoulder. And then my hip, well, it wasn't a hip issue after all. It was a torn gluteus medius and 2 torn ligaments. So I was frustrated. I literally was shedding tears on the table. There was just the whole shebang of emotions happening. How was I falling apart like this? I am a health coach who is not healthy at all. That is the thought that just kept going through my head. I had to come to terms with the fact that I'm human. Life is happening to me, and while I firmly believe it's also happening for me, sometimes in the ebb and the flow of what is happening, it's going to be easy. And sometimes what we have to live with is going to be hard. The fact that I am a health coach and I have a deep bag of tools is precisely what has kept me sane. I know that because I've seen others that are dealing with pain, and I see how they're dealing with the daily choices. And I'm not a better or a stronger person. I'm just consistently using the tools that I have learned. It's kept me from being bent out of shape over a slight weight bump, because I know that the sweet spot of health for me is within reach. I won't shame myself for clothes that don't fit the way I want them to today, because I know that I'm going to be sleeping better soon. I know soon I'll be able to start moving in ways that make me feel better. And I know that I am making food choices that are going to help me balance my blood sugar, and my body will thrive when it gets this extra boost of stem cells. And lastly, I've been able to keep my mindset great through all of this because of the tools that I have. I know this might be a little bit long, but I really want you to understand and know that I deal with issues too. Being a health coach does not mean perfection. It means having the tools and the grit to bounce back. If you're in a place where physical or emotional pain is just sucking the joy from your life, I would love to share some tools with you that could help you stay focused on what the end goal is. And when you pair that with consistent habits that are the right habits for you, you set yourself up to reach the end goal. I'm here to listen to what is going on with you and point you in the right direction. You just have to raise your hand and ask for help. And the first session's on me. Below this video, you will find a link to book an Unlock Your Wellness session. It's a 45-minute no-charge session with me. And we're going to look at what's going on in your life, what are the setbacks, what are the goals, and get you to where you know your next best step, because there's absolutely no reason not to expect more.